everybody, Matt here from Around Square, and I'm just coming with another drop preview. Quick sip of tea, and we're into it. This month we are heavily featuring a new material for our brand. It's this one here called Ultem. So this is in the category of high performance polymers, plastic materials that are really deserve to be put in a separate category compared to conventional plastics, but just because they have such great properties, the durability, the thermal properties. And for me, honestly, like the look and feel of Ultem is just something really special. It really reminds me of amber, except it's got the durability that amber usually doesn't. It's got just such a nice warm appearance. It looks great in the light. It feels great in the hand. So this is my own personal set of Ultem MK Ultras, which I have done up as a long form set, but with a few beads less than the standard long form MK Ultras setup. And that just gives me a little bit of extra space between the beads between the packets for when I'm manipulating them. That's just my own personal preference as a player. But as I've been playing them, and I've been carrying these a lot because I've really been enjoying the light weight of them and just like the look and feel. But I was reflecting on some of the stuff that I've been reading about amber and some of the traditional materials in Comboloi and worry beads in the Mediterranean. Just going back historically, some of the original and still prized materials are things like bakelite and amber resin, which are polymers, right? So the amber resin, if you don't know, there's not a lot of beads out there that are actually solid amber, like as in fossilized tree sap or whatever it is. And when you find it, it's pretty delicate. It's got cracks and intrusions and so on, and it's terribly expensive. So more commonly, stuff that's sold as amber is actually an amber resin, which has sort of ground up amber powder and stuff, but it's stabilized with a polymer, with a resin, right? Like an acrylic type thing. And bakelite, another one of the OG plastics out there. Those are considered like traditional materials, even though they are polymers. And so it got me kind of thinking this material is kind of representative of Around Square in some ways, because what we often do in our designs is we take traditional things and do kind of a modern, you take modern materials, modern design aesthetics and so on to a traditional form. And so there's kind of a neat, I don't know, this material kind of resonates with me in a special sort of way. And although I do personally tend towards metals and natural materials like wood in my range, I've found a place in my heart for this material, just kind of based on what I've described there. It kind of has this nice historical root with some of the traditional polymer materials that have been used in Comboloi. And we've done not the whole range, but we got a whole bunch of products in this material. So since I got these guys in my hand, I'm going to start off with this. We've decided, we didn't want to do all sizes of all materials at the same time. We got to kind of pace ourselves. So the Milos have been one of our new beads in the past year. Super popular. Everybody seems to really love the shape and the feel of them on the string for the different products in our range. So we decided to do these guys here. These are the 12 millimeter Milos. So it's like a 12 by 10 dimension, 12 millimeters diameter, 10 millimeters deep. They've got a 3 millimeter bore. It's got that shape that's just so comfortable to manipulate. It's got nice rounding, but it's still got a little bit of a straight edge on it. And it's got the 3 millimeter bore that stays close on the string, which is really nice for bead counting. So you're flipping along here and no hot spot, right? It's just got nice rounding all the way around. So this is the long form MK Ultras in the 12 millimeter Ultem beads, designed for a double wrap on the wrist. Okay. And it of course doesn't go all the way around. You've got some exposed string there, but you've got a double layer, and you've got a tassel, and you can kind of shorten things up to make it kind of more convenient for you based on your own size, right? We've got these in a machine finish, which I love. It's got kind of a frosted look to it, and we've got them in a polished finish as well, which has that real amber look to it, just a very waxy looking almost, and just very beautiful transparency. Okay, so we've got these two options for you in the long form Ultras. And just hear that clack. It's so crisp in the Ultem. Just love it. Okay, so we got the long form MK Ultras. We've also got the short form. For those of you who like to wear them on your wrist with a single wrap, got those guys. And of course, the flipping with these guys is also like very nice. Just set them up and can manipulate them in lots of ways. They're still good for the raindrops and a little bit more kind of nimble in the shorter length. I personally these days really go for the long form setups, but the short form is the original and it's great. We've done them all with a 15 millimeter titanium boss bead here, and of course you can shorten this up again, like depending on your length. I've got the full length here with the tassel hanging way down, but I only needed about this long for my play, and to get it over my hand even less. So, you know, if I'm wearing the short form, I just kind of loop it through there if I need it out of the way. But generally, I keep mine short enough so that it doesn't really bother me while I'm wearing them. Okay, but for the long forms, I either wear them or lots of times they live in my pocket, and I keep the tassel kind of hanging out of my pocket and can grab it and good to go. All right. So short form, long form, 12 millimeter MK Ultras in the Milos beads. And since we got the beads, we thought, hey, why not set up some Bugleri with them as well? So we've done these beautiful setups. These are paired with titanium beads. So they're very light, but you know, that's just compared to what we offered last month. We offered the heavy metal Milos last month, and they're quite heavy setups. We wanted to offer something a little bit different, and I personally really like these light sets these days. They're just very nimble and fun to flip around, really casual. Maybe not like the most high performance set, but you can certainly do all the tricks with them. It's just a bit of a lighter experience, right? So this is my own setup. I've got the frosted version, the machine finished version, and they've seen a lot of use. I really like them. Just nice and light and easy to flip. Yeah. So we got those guys. That's the Milos beads. What else do I want to show you? We've got two versions of our knuckle bone. Actually, there's a third I'm going to show you in a minute. But we've got the Slim Mini. For the first time in one of the lighter materials, we've got the Slim Mini version of the knuckle bone in a polished finish. So this has really nice grip. If you've got like warm weather, humid climate or weather, you're going to find it like grabby on your hands. But that's good for certain kinds of tricks where you're manipulating from the end, especially. So I do, in my play, you probably see in my videos, I do a lot of this kind of manipulating from the end of the knuckle bone. So I really like the polished finish for that. If you're just rolling, like straight up rolling between the fingers, it's a little bit grippier. It feels like the acrylic version of the knuckle bone. Okay. Then we've got the full size knuckle bone as well. For those, the Slim Mini has been really popular, but I can't forget that the original is the original design for a reason, right? And a lot of people still love and even prefer the original, and it's great. Every time I come back to the original, it's kind of like coming home, right? It's just such a great size and weight distribution, and like very comfortable in the hand. So got both of these guys in the polished finish. And for those of you who are looking for certain performance aspects of the, you know, kind of tweaking your design and everything, tweaking your setup, we've got the regular grip in the machine finished ultem. Okay, so this is for the modular. So I've paired this with the Sunset titanium knobs right now, but the modular setup, you screw on the knobs, whatever knobs you like. We've got different metals, different finishes, even different shapes. And then you've got it's just like kind of a neat weight distribution. And for those of you who are like, you know, kind of performance-oriented players or like really looking to do different kinds of tricks, a lot of people like the kind of sandblasted or like slightly textured grip in the middle, because that doesn't grab the fingers as much. So when you're rolling, you can still have grip on the outside edges where you want it for controlling the knob by the end. But in the middle of the knuckle bone, you've got that smoothness where it kind of slides between the fingers without grabbing as much. So that's why we did the machine finish for the grips. All right. So we got those three options for you knuckle beasts out there. All right. Then jumping back to Bugleri for a moment, we decided to do, we haven't done new hardcore shells in a little while for our like hardcore gut system for the Bugleri. So we decided to do the Titans, which is like, this has been a favorite of tons of people, including like some of the elite players. Their like favorite sets of all time are the Delrin Titan shells with like some kind of inserts. So we decided to do these up in ultem, and it looks fantastic with the titanium Newton cores as the inserts. So it's overall a pretty light set, designed for a 550 paracord. And you can see here, it's got that machine finish. The reason we did the machine finish, we actually sampled polished finish as well, and the polish looks good on the outside, but it's hard for the factories to polish the insides without mucking up the shape and the size of the bore, right? This has to be machined out. So you ended up with like a polished surface, but then the bore on the inside is still machine finished, and it kind of clouds that. So it actually, just overall, it looks better with the frosted look all over the place. And they play really, really good. It's like a really nice finish for playing. So I strung this up a little while ago when I was experimenting with slightly shorter joiner length. So this set isn't my optimal, but just to demo the performance of these guys, I don't know, there's something about the Titans that I've always loved, and that clack again with the ultem. I should mention too, I got a new phone here, and my old mic that I was using, the external mic, no longer fits the port of this phone. So I'm just going off the phone microphone, and hopefully the audio is not too terrible. All right. Then what else we got? Last ultem product is our ultem version of the Banja. So the Banja has been also super popular, and we're getting it in a whole bunch of different sizes for you. I think 19.5 up to 23.5 in 1 millimeter increments. So the Banjas are just fun. This one feels, I should say, like the Delrin, the ultem material feels kind of most similar to acrylic in our range, and no different with the Banjas and the knuckle bones. Very similar in the feel to the acrylic. Ultem is actually a little bit heavier. Like I think this one is like a gram heavier than the acrylic version of the knuckle bone. But for most people, you're not going to really notice the difference in weight. It's a very lightweight material. The Banjas, like with the hardcore Titans, it's hard to polish the inside and retain the size. So we've gone with the frosted finish, which I actually prefer anyways. And it kind of differentiates them a little bit from the acrylics, because the acrylics have the polished finish on the outside, which gives them super high grip. The ultem version is that machine finish on the outside, so it's not quite as grippy and grabby, which I don't know. I find it looks very natural and kind of like low profile, low key on the hand. And yeah, I've just really been enjoying this piece. Again, like the stuff is so lightweight, it feels like nothing in the pocket, right? Okay, I think that's it for our ultem introductory range. We've been getting a lot of requests for ultem deadeyes, and yeah, we're probably going to do that at some point. But to be honest, like the super lightweight deadeyes haven't been the big sellers. People tend to like the heavier coins in their pockets. So, we have the Delrin version of the deadeyes, but I haven't been in a rush to do other lightweight materials in the deadeyes, just because most of the manipulations that people do with the deadeyes tend to be a bit easier with the heavier materials. Okay. All right. Next up, we got these guys right here. These were a late addition to the drop lineup for this month. They are ebony. So most of what we got this month is ultem, but we also had these done up. This is ebony wood, hardcore Titan shells. Beautiful little pieces here. And so if you're into the wood, natural materials, we haven't done a wooden shell since the Curios collab that we did with Terra Kendama way back in the day. So it's been a long time that we've kind of been thinking and wanting to do something like that. And when we had some ebony wood in hand for some other samples recently, we thought, I may as well just like see how they work out with the Titans. And right from the very first samples, I was super impressed. It's a great material. Like the grain on these is really fine, so it feels like nice and smooth, and you don't get like that kind of chipping or anything that you do sometimes with coarser grains. And yeah, they're polished and waxed, really nice. The set that I'm playing here, I strung up for myself, have titanium Newton cores in them. But we're going to offer these actually in 4 options. Okay. So we got the copper inserts here. These end up being like 12, 13 grams per bead. Same thing with brass. It's what, like 10 or 11 grams, I think, for stainless steel. And then titanium cores comes in at like 8 or 9 grams per bead. So you got like a nice selection of weight ranges. I do recommend that you use these with the flanged beads. So like the Hercs, the Newtons, or the end caps that we used to sell. The reason for that is the bore can be a little bit snug. It's not like the stuff's not in there permanently, but the bore can be there a little bit snug. So, you know, it's nice to have a little flange to get the fingernail under to pull them out. Otherwise, you could end up, you know, if you put a micro standard or some micro hydras inside, you could end up needing to like dig around with pliers and some weird thing to try and get them out. So, yeah, that's these guys. They're beautiful, and most of what we have this month is polymer based. So if you're wanting something for you know, made of natural materials, we've got lots more ebony wood stuff in the lineup. In fact, got a set of samples here today that I'm just gonna tease real quick here. But check this out. Okay. So we got lots cooking as always. Yeah, on to the next thing. Onto the chef's special for this month. You know, as I was going through the shelves looking at things, I realized that we've got like just a ton of beautiful materials in our range that don't get a whole ton of love. You know, I haven't been posting them online. I tend to go with my own kind of collection and my EDC, which is primarily titanium, when I'm posting stuff on Instagram, for example. But I was looking in the shelves and we've got like bins of all of these beautiful acrylics, which are just like stunning, and they're so fun to play. I love the acrylic with the SS for the check key. And so anyways, I got to thinking, like, for this month's chef's special, I decided to do a little bundle. So the bundle is going to include one of our acrylic check key. Okay, so we got 5 colors here. And they've all got these single stripe stainless steel accents. So we got the mint, the kind of dark fuchsia, dark green, got black, red, and fuchsia with all with the swirl there. They're beautiful material and like striking. And I love the weight distribution with the single heavier metal stripe at the end. They all play great. Okay, so you can get one of those, your choice of color, along with one of our acrylic fountain pens. So we got these 5 colors in the acrylic fountain pens. And this is all that's remaining in the colors for our knuckle bones at the moment. So we've got, again, the fuchsia, a blue, and an orange, which looks like a creamsicle. So we got these 3 for the knuckle bones. Okay, so you're gonna be able to choose your color for each of those. And yeah, if you've been sleeping on the fountain pens, this is a great opportunity to kind of get into that game. The colors of acrylic all kind of mix and match. Like you can swap out parts. So if you have one already and you want to get a different one to mix and match the colors. The colors don't all look amazing together. So there's like certain color combinations that I think look great. These two, like the kind of burgundy with the teal, look pretty awesome together. Yeah, so I think that's it. We've got something here in my hand that's secret. So those of you who are into a little bit of a scavenger hunty type thing, there'll be a way to access these. I haven't fully like worked out the details of it, but you can hear them in my hand there and kind of guess what they might be. All right. Got also these beautiful sweaters here. It's the same exact same design as the cashmere sweaters that we offered up last year in gray, but we've decided to do another color. This is a really nice kind of subtle blue. We've got the blue word mark on the sleeve again, like we did last year. This one has like a orangey, I don't know, can you see that? An orangey kind of lining for the double layer on the shoulders and lining there. So it's super comfortable. We've got these in the single knit and we've got them in the double knit. I'm wearing the large tall. I'm not particularly large or particularly tall. I just like things to be a little bit long, and I do have long arms, and so I've always wanted something that didn't like come down to here. How irritating is that? So and these are over-engineered in the sleeves, like a lot of our garments. But this is the large tall. If you want something a little bit shorter, just go with a standard large, or the other sizes are, They still have like generous length in the sleeves and body, just because this is the style that we wanted to go for, and it's fully custom, right? But yeah, the other sizes are a little bit more standard. This is the tall size. All right, and one other thing I wanted to highlight in this video, as I was going through the shelves, pulling off all of the things I wanted to show in this video, this little guy caught my eye. This is one of our 15 millimeter mala sets in Mokume Gane. And, we sold most of these when we first launched them, I don't know, a few months back. But this one's been sitting there, and as it's been sitting there, the patina has started to come out in the copper and the brass, and the color patterns are just like incredible. And it totally caught my eye, and I wanted to just highlight it in the video. We don't have new exotics for this month, but we do have a decent inventory of the ones that we started launching, that we launched a couple months back. So we got these beauties. People have been adoring the new 8mm beads with the 3mm bore. I love those beads myself. I carry them like almost every day, my own set of titanium. But I just wanted to mention that for those of you who are really liking those beads, the recent batch of exotics, Zirkutai, Mokutai, and Mokume, all three of those have that same 3mm bore. So this is a long form Mokutai set. Definitely a steep price point, but the beads will not disappoint. They've got that same 3mm bore, and yeah, it works great for raindrops, great for bead counting, it's like super comfortable. And the Mokume, again, like same deal. Just very nice. Even though they're 8mm beads, I really enjoy the bead counting with these little guys, just because it's just got that really nice feel with the 3mm bore. All right. So I think that's it for this month, guys. And yeah, next month will be another big month. We've got like a ton of stuff that we're waiting for, but this month I really wanted to like just showcase the ultem material and give it kind of a special place, because it's rare for us to introduce a brand new material to our range, and to be able to do it in a bunch of products all at the same time is kind of a treat. So I hope you guys are into it, and if not, then stay tuned next month and there'll be something different. All right, take it easy, everybody.